Hello, welcome to my video. It's my first ever video I've ever spoken over. So it might be my very last video I've ever spoken over, depending how disastrous it is. But first of all, this isn't a tutorial. Um, I, this is just how I paint. It's not necessarily the correct way of doing things. But if you take away from this any ideas and things like that, it's all good. And also, if you have any suggestions and things, it'll be great. So I'm just going to start establishing a bit of a horizon. I paint very, very fast, as you can see. There we go. It's called alla prima in the business, which kind of means all at once or at first attempt. So I always paint very fast, and unlike some artists, I don't spend months and months painting on one piece. I don't come back to it. I literally finish it in half an hour if I can. And I find the quicker paintings are the more enjoyable for me. So I've established my horizon. I'm just going to put some titanium white into it just to mix the horizon up, create some nice haze. And incidentally, the blue colour is one of my favourites. It's Payne's Grey, which is a gorgeous colour. Now, this occasion I'd ran out of Payne's Grey, so I mixed my own, which is basically a bit of titanium blue with some black in it, and it meant I could control the level of the darkness. So there we are, a bit more titanium white. Just quickly create some drama in the sky. No straight lines in clouds, obviously. So while the sky dries, I'm just going to work on the foreground a bit. Just creating some shapes and patterns and mistakes. There's no planning goes into this at all. Just putting the paint on. I don't get too hung up on how the paint goes on, as long as it goes on. Incidentally, the foreground is I use a bit of sap green mixed with carmine red. I think it's pronounced carmine, something like that. It just darkens off the green a bit. I'm going to put some bit of yellow in, just create some light. And I like getting some lemon yellow and just mixing a little bit of orange in. Let's just dark it off a bit. Again, there's not much planning, not much thought goes into it. I tend to paint with headphones on, listening to music. Helps my movement, helps me get in the zone. And you find you paint quite subconsciously with listening to music. You know, focus on the music. Just let the brush and the paint and the canvas all talk to you. You'll start to find little accidental shapes and lumps and bumps. If you look on the far right hand side of that horizon just there, you see a little hill on the right, and just to the right, just to the left of that, sorry, there's a little patch of white which is quite interesting. Just notice there I've got just the bottom of a paint tube, just creating some texture. And notice I only tend to use about 3 colours. It used to be that when I first started painting seriously, just about 14 months ago, 15 months ago, I used about 20 colours in one painting and it just didn't work. It ended up being a muddy mess. But because I paint very quick, I use acrylics, which dry fast, which has its benefits. It means I'm not waiting a week for the thing to dry. But the drawback is, it dries so quick that you just haven't got a lot of control over the image. Unlike oils where you can move the paint around hours later, just to get the desired effect, this dries quite quickly. So it's not terribly forgiving. I've tried painting oils, but I just haven't got the patience to wait a week for it to dry. And I also haven't got the space to dry it in. So I stick to acrylics. I quite like it. It fits in my idea of lack of patience, which I certainly haven't got any. If people used to ask me, "Oh, do you paint?" I say I haven't got the patience. I think that's quite a poor excuse. You don't really need patience for the style I use. Just created a bit of texture in that yellow just to break it up a bit. Some little walls and things going in, totally by accident. A few spots and blobs that could be buildings, could be bits of wall, could be trees. And so excuse my voice, I've got a bit of a sore throat today. There's the old paint tube again going in. Again, no thought, I'm just creating a few marks and scratches, suggestions of paths, stones and walls. There's no rhyme and reason to it, I just do it because I'm engrossed in listening to the music, which tends to be classical music. You notice I've only really used one brush. That's a little 1 inch flat brush. Got it off eBay. It's probably about equivalent of 30p, and it's lasted me well over years of constant use. With acrylics, it's not like watercolour where you use lashings of water. It's just a little tiny bit of water, and in that water I've added Liquitex flow aid, just to help the flow of the paint onto the canvas. And by the way, the canvas, this one's about 20 by 16 inches. Just cheap from a hardware shop. Some nice detailing. That's the second brush I'm using. It's another flat brush. And I can't remember the name of them. It's got a sort of crenellated edge to it, like some castle battlements. That just to add some nice texture. There we go, created some lines and things just to draw the eye in the foreground. You see my horizon is only about a fifth up the page. I'm all about the big skies at the moment. There's a bit more interest on the horizon. Just want to put something on the left hand side. All my paintings tend to come from the Peak District when I used to live there. Lived there majority of my life. That could easily, on the left there, be Mam Nick and Rush Up Edge. If you know it round there, you'll know what I mean. You know, obviously I'm not looking at a view. I'm just sat in my windowless studio, so it's all in the mind, completely imaginary. With little areas of the Peak District do appear in the pictures. Plenty of fond memories living around there. It could so easily, looking across Hope Valley, down the valley. Just a bit of a road or a wall or something like that. Again with my little flat brush. Beauty about painting so quick, you get some nice movement. Bit of a pause, I'm probably just cleaning one of my brushes. There we are, I'll put some... now that's a bit of black. I mean, this I painted this about 2 or 3 months ago. But now I don't use black at all. Because even skies, even clouds, they're never pure black. They've always got a bit of colour, so I don't tend to use black anymore. Put some more titanium white on. Plenty of movement. And before you know it, you're working quick. An alright image appears very fast. It doesn't have to take hours to do. When I first started painting, I used to do a blue background as a sky and some fluffy clouds, but it just doesn't interest me. It bores me to tears. So I like a sky with a bit of drama and a bit of movement. Incidentally, I've got dogs. If you can hear dogs scratching or if they suddenly start barking, I apologise in advance. But they're all sat round me now. I do love that blue, particularly on the right hand side of the horizon, nice and dark. Now, a few months ago, it was about 6 months ago, I painted a painting and showed it my wife. And she said, "What can you see?" I said, "I don't know, just Peak District, landscape." She said, "Look at the sky, what can you see?" "Clouds and things." She said, "Look at that, there's a great big bird in the sky." Oh, God almighty, so there is. I couldn't believe it. There was this enormous crow in the sky with its wings stretched. And then I got very excited and looked back at me hundreds of other paintings, and they've all got a big menacing crow or raven wing stretch flying across the sky, and it's all completely subconscious. There's I think there'll be a thesis for some PhD student somewhere on the psychology of a crow in the sky. But yeah, if you don't believe me, check. There's birds in the sky. People, one person counted faces. They counted 9 faces, and all subconscious, all in the recesses of my mind. And Bob Ross used to say that if he was always a happy painter who was made the impression of being happy, but his wife had passed away, and he went through a dark stage, and he always said that if you're in a dark mood, your paintings get a bit darker, and he was absolutely right. Just putting a bit more interest on that horizon. The finishing stages, a little more thought goes into it than initial arms flying everywhere and paint flying everywhere. There's a bit more thought out, a bit more measured towards the end. So I'm just adding a bit of interest, a bit of light on that horizon. I've never really watched any tutorials. Again, I haven't got the patience to do it. But the only person I have watched really is Stuart Davis. He's a great tonalist painter who uses oils, and it's a completely different medium to acrylic. But he's taught me that you don't have to be able to draw to paint. I certainly can't draw. My hands just aren't steady enough. And he's taught me a lot about the illusion of detail. Fooling the mind into something that isn't there. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like my stuff. And see you soon. Bye bye.